Hi, welcome to the round 19 preview. We are in the home stretch. It's quite sad. It's exciting, it's nerve-wracking, and it's sad because I love the footy. We love the footy, and I know what it's going to be like. I remember what it's like to not have the footy. We miss it so much. It comes around, and then we get caught up in all of it, and I love it. The Eagles this week. 2:10. Saturday afternoon at Marvel. It's amazing what 4 games can do in this season. It's also a reminder why I shouldn't get too caught up in the moment of the results. Like, obviously we've come off our down patch. We've now won 4 in a row by 50 plus, which is a club record. And now we face an Eagle side who, look, they're struggling, no doubt about it, and not to be disrespectful to them, because I know all too well what it's like to be in this position. They've got bulk injuries. They're going through a transition. They're trying to get games into youngsters. It's tough. It's very tough. And I think for the first time in a long time, I think because of my journey as a Carlton supporter, having truly been humbled, I've been passed on the story of the Carlton Football Club as the great Carlton Football Club and the arrogance and the swagger and, you know, we're the best team and all of that. But my experience, and for a lot of us who were born, you know, in the 90s onwards, we don't have that arrogance about us. We have the humbling. So we start our lives with the humbling that we aren't very good. You know, we have a great history, but we're not very good. So when I see us come up against teams that struggle, or when I just watch other teams struggle, I don't have that, what's the word? I don't have that viciousness for them or that pettiness for them. I don't want to give them banter because I know what it's like to be there. I've watched 100-point losses before. I've watched 10-goal losses so many times. I've watched more 10-goal losses than not. So it's an interesting one, and it's a very unique situation for me as well, because going into a game, like, we really, you know, there's a strong expectation that we win this game, and we win it convincingly. We played them early in the season in round 7. We beat them by, 108 points. Charlie Curnow kicks 9 goals, which was a ground record at Optus Stadium. It all seemed to just look great for us, and we were up and about. And I think the narrative at the time for me was, oh, well, we haven't beaten a team by 100 points in a long time, so we must be on the right track. The following 6 weeks will show that wasn't the case. So that we put that to the side, and that's another conversation that we will have at another time. But going into this game, I mean, how do you preview it? I have read the rhetoric around, do we rest players now? We've got some sore boys. I know Adam Sard was very sore late in the game last week. Adam Chera with the hamstring tightness. Mitch McGovern looked a little bit proppy at times as well. He had the corky from the week before. So I don't know exactly what they'll do. My gut tells me that this is an opportunity for us to continue the momentum. Percentage is going to be important for the teams that finish in that bottom half, or let's say from 6th onwards, to, determine where they sit. So I look at this as an opportunity to tighten up our defensive mechanism. We should have a lot more confidence going into this game that we are the better side. And this is a challenge for the group, because there's like just that deep expectation that we win, and we win well. So how do you know that and still perform your role with the same vigor, with the same selflessness that we've seen over the last 4 games? And that's just what I want to see. I think I would not like to see them see the gold and rush for it and think it's their time to be the superhero of the team. I think if we can continue to play that selfless brand, start with our defensive action, smash them at the contest, break them early. I think what I've noticed with the West Coast Eagles is, mentally they're just not capable at the moment of sustaining it for 4 quarters. They're just very young, very inexperienced, and they're a little bit disjointed with where they're at. And, it's just a reality of their development. So for me, I just want to see us crank it up, go as hard as we can. And you know what? Really take it to them. I know we beat them by 108 points, and in a weird way, I don't think we played anywhere near as well as what we are playing now. So if there is a situation where we can get another, 10 goal plus win, I would hope to see a bit more killer instinct from the group. When it comes to our team, I didn't mention Harry Mackay. Obviously, he will miss for the next 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it's going to be. So the question has been posed. Do you just play Jack Silvani a bit more forward? Do you allow Tom DeConing to play more forward time? If Pito's ready to go, do you move Mitch McGovern to the forward line and bring in Marchbank? There's so many different variations of what you can do in that situation. To be honest, I think this is all perfectly set up for a Charlie Curnow masterclass, not dissimilar to last time. Harry was in the side last time. I think Charlie's going to get a lot more looks. I think if we continue to play that selfless brand and that unpredictable brand going forward, Charlie will get some opportunities. But also with Charlie, he is playing a really selfless brand himself. He is tapping the ball to players and not getting a stat, but being really involved in the score involvements without getting an actual possession or a disposal next to his name. If he's not marking the ball, he's not just bringing it to ground, he's controlling the ball to ground. So I remember there were various moments last week where the ball's going to Charlie and then you just had great spacing with the other 4 or 5 players around him, just covering all angles of where the ball could go. So that's where I think we're going to be able to get more looks for Charlie and have him as the clear focal point. That might be a little predictable for the Eagles, but I still think we're going to be a bit too much for them, and I hope so anyway. I don't want to talk too soon. I don't want to get too cocky. I don't want to get disrespectful because I don't want it to come back and bite me. But really, this is a game that we should be going into knowing we're the better team and still being able to know that and be at our best. So destiny's back in our hands. We are all of a sudden seemingly back on track for the season. Before last week, there was a conversation around, we need to provide an upset against, Port or Collingwood or Melbourne. And then the others were pretty winnable. Now we're at this point where we will be favoured to win the games that would get us there at the end of the year. But you just kind of got to focus on it 1 week at a time. So I don't know what they'll do with changes. I just want to get through this game, perform well, enjoy myself with the footy, because that's important to enjoy these moments. Also, can't be having 34,000 people at Marvel Stadium on Saturday. I dare say we've got to get a decent crowd there. It's a really family-friendly time, I think, 2:10. So get down there, make some noise, enjoy it, because the season will be gone before we know it, and we're going to be missing it. So want to make sure everyone gets through unscathed as well. That's important. And we'll see what happens. We'll get through this one, and then we'll talk about the next one after that. What about you? How do you feel about this week? Where does your mind go to this week? What is the narrative in your mind? Let me know in the comments below. Also curious, what do you do with the team and the changes and the mechanism with the forward line now that Harry's out? There's so many different possibilities. I'm curious to know what you think. So we'll chat about it in the comments. See you on Saturday. Go Blues.